This is the plaintiff, Suzanne Cole. She says she booked the trip of a lifetime through the defendant for herself, her daughter, and granddaughter to go on an African safari, and the trip had some hiccups from the get-go. There was a change of itinerary, which caused them to stay in a small village called Lusaka for 2 nights, and she had to foot the bill for the hotel rooms, missing out on nights already paid for in Zambia. She expected the defendant to reimburse her for her losses, but he hasn't, so she's suing the guy for the $2,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Kenneth. He says the airline changed their itinerary at the very last minute, causing the plaintiff to miss a connection, so they had to spend the night in Lusaka. This was totally out of his hands, because he has no control over an African Airlines flight. The plaintiff's a wonderful woman, but this was just one of those unfortunate situations which was out of his control. He's accused of shortening a safari.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff booked an awesome trip through the defendant. It was an African safari, but there were nothing but problems. The defendant says the plaintiff caused her own problems. It's the case of, I had a lawsuit in Africa.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Susan Cole?
Yes.
You are suing Kenneth. You've asked us to just call you by your first name. Are you the owner of a travel agency?
Yes.
Okay. For $2,000, the cost of an Africa trip that you booked with him that didn't quite turn out the way you'd planned. What happened?
I purchased a trip to Zambia to a wildlife preservation, and we were supposed to have 6 nights at the lodge and 11 safaris. We had 4 nights at the lodge and 7 safaris.
Why?
Because Kenneth informed me about 3 days before we were leaving that the small plane that goes from the city Lusaka to the lodge had changed their schedule, and so that our plane coming in from Johannesburg would not be meeting that, could not meet that plane. Our plane was coming in too late to meet the small
Which airlines
plane.
had changed the schedule?
ProFlight, Your Honor.
And so
It's a local Zambian airline that does only regional flights within Zambia.
So it was flying from where to where?
Lusaka to Mfui. Mfui is where the game lodge is.
Okay. So she was making it from JFK to Johannesburg.
Johannesburg, correct.
And then there was a flight that was taking her from Johannesburg to Lusaka.
Lusaka, and we had intended for an immediate connection to Mfui to get her there on the same day.
Okay.
And on the way back also. That's exactly how it was reserved.
And then what happened?
ProFlight changed their flights from Lusaka to Mfui to back to Lusaka, and they departed before the Johannesburg arrival came in. So there was no way there could be a connect, and they dropped to 1 service per day.
So that she would arrive at Lusaka and she would have to spend 1 night in Lusaka
Correct.
each time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was eating into her 6 days.
That is correct, Your
All
Honor.
right, that's 6 days. Wow, long way to go for 6 days. All right, so the new plan then, once the airlines changed their itinerary, was to have her stay 1 day. You took this trip with the lady next to you?
And my granddaughter.
And there were 3.
Yes.
Oh, what a wonderful trip.
Yes, it was.
Did you pay?
I'm sorry?
Oh, not my business, but I would just like to know why my mother didn't take me and my daughter on a safari. All right. Did you take pictures?
Yes, I have a few
Can't see.
with my granddaughter staying where we were supposed to stay, surrounded by wild
Oh, how
animals.
cute. How old is she?
7. Well, she was 7 then. She's 8 now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, those are photos she took.
Very nice. What is this a photo of?
Those are hippos. They're out the window.
Ah, there we go.
When you look out the window, there they were.
Wow. I want to be your granddaughter when I grow up. How was this picture taken?
Oh, is that the leopard?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a leopard like 6 inches from my nose.
Well, that was that was taken from the car that we travel in.
Wow. These are great. The hippo yawning.
She got that too, yes.
What a fabulous trip. So now the new plan that you present is spend the night in Lusaka. What is there to do
Correct.
there?
There's nothing to do.
Oh my goodness,
There
is that
really
how you
is
told her?
nothing to do.
There's nothing to do there?
No. But there's no option. This is the unfortunate
No, I know,
part.
but did you tell her that there was something to do at Lusaka?
Well, there's just markets and a bit of sightseeing to do, but not...
Like what? Sightseeing like what?
Sightseeing of markets and just the city.
And
city
more
sightseeing
markets.
too. Don't go.
Don't go.
No,
All
really.
right.
I mean, there's.
Okay. Is that how you told her?
I hope not.
Tell me, what was it exactly that he told you?
Well, Ken did say that there was an animal park and there was a market. And so I thought, well, we'll do the best we can with it. And we'll go to the animal park and we'll go to the market. And Ken said, I'll have somebody there to take care of you the whole time. There was nobody. The hotel only knew that we were staying there. And then they knew nothing about where to go, really. Well, as Ken said, there wasn't really much to do. And the animal park was closed.
Closed as in out of business?
Not sure, but closed as far as any time we would be there was concerned.
It wasn't open on either
No,
side?
not either end. So they said they recommended the market, which was a sweet place, I have to say. And so we ended up, we had to pay for our own taxi. The market was far from the motel.
Now, this was an all expense paid trip in terms of transportation and meals and all that, right?
That is correct, Your Honor. The original 6-night package, yes, you're absolutely correct.
Right. Let me ask you a question. When you find out that we have the problem and he tells you what it is, you send an email to him where you say, I've spoken to my daughter and she's never seen Lusaka and it's her first time in Africa. So she doesn't mind. I don't mind. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so we're going forward.
Make the best of it.
Right. And I understand that. But if you are approving of the change, then what did he breach that would cause him to have to pay you
We
any
thought
money?
it was going to be sightseeing in Lusaka. We didn't know what Lusaka was, for one thing. And as Ken said, there is nothing to do there. But then, when we were there, I was thinking, the money went to Mafui Lodge.
Mafui Lodge won't return any of the money,
No,
correct?
Your Honor. And the full amount did go. My client is actually, she's quite correct. It had to be paid to them because they arranged the accommodation in Lusaka and they promised that they'd arranged the transfers and clearly they had not. And also the sightseeing. I gave very specific, detailed itinerary for sightseeing.
If they didn't arrange the transfers and they didn't arrange any sightseeing, do you believe that she's entitled to something back?
I do, Your Honor. Yes.
And did you pay her anything back?
I did not pay her anything back.
Okay. And what do you think she's entitled to?
I think that she should get for all of the meals, for all of the transportation, and just, she, in good faith, she booked a 6-night package at a game lodge. She
Right.
ultimately got 4 nights at the game lodge and meals and safaris, etc. But she was dumped on both sides, sitting in a place you don't want to be at, with
Right.
nothing, again.
I can't help but notice that
nothing
you
to
haven't
do.
paid her, though. So you think she should be paid by who? Mafui Lodge?
I think she should be paid by Mfui, absolutely, yeah.
Have you continued to do business with Mafui?
No.
So if you were booking an exotic trip to Africa, is it better to do online or through a travel agent?
It depends how much your time is worth. I mean, it's...
Well, I'm not even talking about time. I'm saying which is more effective, online or through travel agent?
I'd say travel agent. You have a little more level of protection that way, too.
What do you think?
Travel agent.
Because?
Because it's easier that way.
Well, I think also there's like some knowledge too, right? Going inside the corner room.
Kind of hard to sue them, right?
Well, see, this is why they just shrug their shoulders. It's very difficult to
And you
get
don't pay them
retribution.
by credit card.
No.
Right.
No, it's got to be a wire transfer.
Right.
Very smart.
Yeah.
They won't give anything back. I asked for a barter agreement even. I said, give me free accommodation that I
Right.
could sell to someone else and,
Right, and then reimburse her.
Give her.
Right.
They're just not interested, and they know that there's nothing we can do.
And I'm sure that they're saying the same thing that you're saying here. What fault do we have? We
Yeah.
were ready, willing, and able to provide the service that we contracted with you. We had a room for her. We had the other guests did go on the thing. Why do we have to reimburse her? This is just one of those things. Okay, so do you have receipts for your meals and transportation?
No, because he said it was going to all be taken care of. And
Right,
plus
but
they
you
had
knew it
no
wasn't when
credit
someone
card
said that'll be X. You knew that you were paying.
Our meals were about $5. I can...
Just curious, give me
the taxis, you don't get a receipt.
Okay.
You just kind of can't do
Were
it.
they $100 or were they $5?
No, the taxi was about $25 each way. They were expensive, I have to say that.
Yeah.
And the meals were about $5 each. And so it was 9 meals, so that was about $45.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Because the change in airline is not, an airline itinerary is not his fault. I'm not going to order him to return the amount of money that you're asking for. because you send him an email saying it's perfectly fine, we'll do what we have to do. We have to stay in Lusaka. We have to stay in Lusaka. My daughter hasn't seen it. I'm not going to order him to return a third of the trip cost. Because you were out of pocket certain things that you're not supposed to be out of pocket, I am going to order him to reimburse you those amounts that we just talked about. And you're going to have to pursue them or just eat it. And to be honest with you, I don't know whether you ever offered this to her. Did you ever offer this to her to pay her out of pockets?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, perhaps you should have, because you probably lost a client over a couple $100, and
I know.
Yeah, kind of a bad idea. So I am going to assume the back and forth to the market 4 times and some meals, and I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case, and the amount that she is out of pocket, not in the actual change, but the amount that she is actually out of pocket from the stay that was supposed to have been covered according to the agreement. So I find in her favor in the amount of $150. And that's a lovely trip. I'm sure that's going to be an amazing memory for your daughter and your granddaughter.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff leaves the courtroom with her pictures, step on in here, and $150 in an award from the judge. What's your reaction to this?
It's a caveat emptor for travelers.
Let the buyer beware.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Well, you still have great memories, right?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
very good. All right, so come on in here. What's your feeling on this?
I think she deserves to receive restitution.
Yeah, but not from you.
Does. Well, not from me. No, I didn't change the airline schedule, but I do think she should have received something. Absolutely.
Well,
yes.
this can happen, right? It's not that rare, right?
It's not that rare.
So why
no.
don't you have some sort of a, plan B for them?
A plan B for them?
Yeah,
We
just in
did. We
case.
put the plan B in place. We grabbed Lusaka accommodation on both sides because that was the only thing we could do.
Harvey?
This is such a good example where sometimes you got to think, if you want to really fight principle, are you losing in the end, even if you win the lawsuit? In this case, I mean, look, the guy could have paid you could pay a little bit of money to end a lawsuit or to avoid a lawsuit, and in the end, you can keep a customer. Just at a point, you just got to be smart. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.